Think and Grow Rich has sold over 30 million copies around the world and is a condensed down version of a book called The Law of Success, which was written over 100 years ago. After reading both of these books, there's obviously a lot of information to take in. So in this book review, I'm going to break it down into 7 of the best ideas from the books. Think and Grow Rich was published in 1937 by Napoleon Hill, and it took him over 20 years to put together. But he came up with a blueprint for mastering success, riches, and becoming a millionaire. But before I go any further, I do want to say to any of the non-readers out there, don't let this put you off, because I don't actually read books because I'm dyslexic. I actually listen to Audible, which has changed my life when it comes to reading, because I can just listen to so much information, and I've consumed so many books over the last few years, and I've researched so much information on the internet through YouTube and other sources. I've also learnt an awesome little trick on my Mac where you can just highlight any of the text that you want to listen to. You press the Apple key, an S, and it just plays it back, it reads it back to you. So it's incredible for anybody that struggles with reading through dyslexia or anything else. I also want to point out that a lot of the books around self-development are based on the principles of this book and The Law of Success, and basically just regurgitate a lot of the information that you'll find in these books. In my opinion, I think this book was well ahead of its time, and it's still relevant to a lot of things today. And I truly feel that it covers most of the principles and habits that you need to create a world that you design. This could work for you based on the fact that it's following the blueprint of 500 of the most successful people of its time, and continues to work for some of the most successful people today that also follow this type of blueprint and principles in their own life. Before I get into the book, please listen out for any of the points and principles that have worked or could work for you, and then share your experiences, advice and stories in the comments below. So let's get into the 7 big ideas from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Idea number 1, mindset. I know that mindset can be shrugged off because everybody talks about it, but it is one of the key important things on your journey to success. And just remember, this is not a get-rich-quick book. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick book, then this isn't for you. There's just too many get-rich gurus out on the internet today, and the only person who's getting rich is them off other people's naivety. So this book is definitely not about that, but it is about going deep. Becoming rich and wealthy is not just about the money that you've got in your bank account. It's about the person you become on your journey to acquiring success and riches. Because that's the way that you accumulate the mindset of a person with wealth and success. There's a statistical fact that a lot of people who win the lottery or accumulate great wealth end up losing everything, and in some cases end up worse off than they was before. One of the main reasons for this is because they never acquired the mindset of a person with wealth and success. Idea number 2, desire. The one thing that really stands out for me is desire, because everything starts with a desire. And I feel that desire is that important. I even got it tattooed right there on my swan. Only messing around, but seriously, desire is so important because everything starts with a desire. And in this book, it refers to a burning desire. Now think of that word, a burning desire. And that's one of the reasons I had a tattoo of desire tattooed on me, because it reminds me that everything starts with a desire. This phone that I'm speaking into right now started in somebody's mind. That was a desire. It was first created in somebody's mind before it became a reality. Because if you set your mind to something and you want it so much, it will compel you towards taking massive action and making that desire a reality. I just want to use one of my own personal stories for this. When we was gigging in an old car and there was water running through the roof, the petrol gauge didn't work, so we was always running out of fuel. We used to drive around with a old caravan on the back just so we had somewhere to sleep for the night, and we could barely afford the fuel to even get to the shows. But at that point, I had a burning desire to have a luxury tour van that could take us to gigs so we could turn up to gigs in style. But regardless, I had a desire to get the van. I went around to loads of different companies to try and get the best deal, and I brought a van and I found somebody that could convert that van for me. At the time, I didn't know where I was going to get the money from to pay for it, but I still found somebody, and asked them to start the work on the van, and then I thought, I'm just going to figure it out from here. So I basically burnt the boats to give myself no way back, and I just knew that I'd then have to figure out how to get the money to pay for it. To point this out, there's a story about Hernando Cortés. Hernando Cortés was conquering an enemy with a fleet of 100 ships, but that enemy outnumbered them 100 to 1. That didn't stop him. He ordered his men to burn their own ships so they had nowhere to go but the battlefield, with the attitude that they either fight or die. But no way was they getting back on the ships to retreat. So they burnt the boats and battled, and the story says that they won the battle even though they was outnumbered 100 to 1. So a burning desire mentally means going all in. You burn your boats and give yourself no way back, because that means you either sink or swim. So in my own story, I ended up getting the tour van. It wasn't easy. I had to beg, steal and borrow and work my arse off. And in some ways it contributed towards the debt that I used to be in. But regardless, I made that desire a reality. I'm certainly not recommending that you go out there and get yourself into debt or get yourself into a mess, but I'm just pointing out the fact that if you want something, you've got to have a serious burning desire and do whatever it takes, that's honest of course, to get it. So if that means missing out on nights out with your mates, or not watching that film you wanted to watch, or take the time to play video games, or you've got to make sacrifices to follow your dreams, desires and goals, then you've got to adopt that burn the boats mentality. Idea number 3. You've got to have faith, but I like to say self-belief. You've got to truly believe in yourself, your vision and your goal, even when things don't seem possible. Even when things seem so far out of your reach, you've got to build that house one brick at a time until eventually you accumulate a building. You've got to start acting in a way and believing in a way as if you're already successful, as if you're already where you want to be, as if you've already achieved your goals and dreams that you want in life. So again, using a story from my own journey, even when we was doing little shows for very little money and things was really hard, I still believed that we was good enough. I really started to try and believe that we was already successful and already doing big shows, and imagining that we was travelling to the big shows, even though we was just travelling to a tiny little show for little money. I started to believe that we was a successful band that had a tour van and we was travelling in style to these gigs, touring and being touring artists. I just truly believed that we was worthy of the success. I knew we was putting in the work, I knew I was doing everything right, so I just really believed that the success was going to come. And now the van was paid for many years ago, I don't have debts hanging over my head, and we are now international touring artists. And right now I'm making this YouTube video on my phone. I've just got my first 20 subscribers, which I'm really excited about, by the way. Thank you so much for anybody that's already subscribed. But now I have a desire that all the knowledge and information and all the things that I've done to change my life, I can pass on to other people in order for them to follow their dreams and better their life. So my next goal is, I want to become an international speaker. I want to have a successful YouTube channel that helps and serves other people in towards taking steps towards their own goals and dreams. You'll probably hear me say this many times throughout my videos. I grew up in a poor family, I suffered extreme racism, I was short and people told me I was ugly. I never thought I'd get a girlfriend. I left school at 16 with no qualifications, dyslexia, a criminal record, I couldn't even spell my own name, and everybody laughed at me because I wanted to be a professional singer. But now I'm married to a beautiful girl, I live in a beautiful home, I've got 2 awesome dogs, I was the winner of ITV's Bad Lads Army, I tour as an international touring artist, I represent people that I used to buy the records of as an agent, and I'm now short, dark and handsome, and I can just about spell my own name. But the truth is, instead of people telling me I'm a dreamer anymore, they're now saying that I'm living the dream. But what that's done is made me realise, although I'm truly grateful, and I mean truly grateful for the things that I've been blessed with in my life, I'm still worthy of achieving more of my dreams, desires and goals, because when you believe in something bad enough, amazing things do happen. When Roger Bannister was the first man in the world to run a 4-minute mile, at the time, nobody believed it was possible. People thought that your heart would physically explode if you actually ran a 4-minute mile. And when Roger Bannister was the first person recorded to break that 4-minute mile, that year, more people broke the 4-minute mile. And since then, more and more people have broke the 4-minute mile. That doesn't mean that there was better training techniques or something magic happened when he broke the 4-minute mile. The biggest thing that changed was people believed that they could now run a 4-minute mile because somebody had done it, so it was possible. It was like, well, he's done it, maybe I can do it. It's possible. So the magic formula, that secret sauce behind people running the 4-minute mile, was their belief system changed. And if you can change your belief system, you can achieve goals beyond your wildest dreams. A few messages from the book, one of which I always like to put at the end of my video, which is, you create a world that you design. So basically, the decisions you make today, the actions you take today, based on your desires and beliefs, will be the bricks you lay today for the building that you'll have tomorrow. But just know it's okay to fail, because there's an age-old saying that winners never quit. So even if you fail, even if you fall, you've got to remember, if you fall forward and you stand up, you'll look down and realise you've actually taken a step forward. There's a story in the book that really stands out for me, and it's called 3 Feet from Gold. So I'll just give you a quick little simple version of that story right now. Basically, there's a guy that is digging for gold. It's his ambition and his desire to dig for gold. He's digging and doesn't find any gold. He might find bits, but he doesn't hit the jackpot. After digging for so long, he decides to quit. He doesn't believe anymore that he's going to hit gold, and he sells all of his equipment to somebody else. And that other person comes along and just did a little bit of research and got some people in to see if they dig a bit further, is there any chance that they're going to find some gold? And they dig just another 3 feet and strike a huge amount of gold. Now, if that guy hadn't have quit, he would have hit that himself. He quit only 3 feet from gold, and that's a very powerful story. There's a very powerful message in that story, is to never quit, because you never know when you're 3 feet from gold. So if you have a dream, never quit on that dream. Never ever quit on that dream, because it doesn't mean you're just quitting on your dream. You're quitting on yourself and your true potential. Idea number 5, organised planning. In order to achieve any goal, you've got to have a map, like a road map, or even these days a sat-nav that's even more precise. But you've got to have a route from A to B in order to get there. Because if you went on a journey tomorrow with no map or no sat-nav, and you just kind of made your own way and you didn't really know where you was going, you may get there, but the odds are you're going to get lost, or you're going to take a route around, or you may get stuck in traffic because on the sat-nav analogy, somebody else is telling you that there's traffic there. Learn from somebody else's mistakes. So this is why blueprints are good to follow, other people's blueprints, because these people have set their destinations. These people have had a definite plan with organised planning, like getting a map and making your own route, but also looking what routes have other people taken. Can you take the same route and get to the same destination in the same amount of time? So that being said, goal planning is really important. For an example, my brother has 2 barber shops, and if you want to become a barber, first you've got to learn to cut hair. Maybe you'll go and work for somebody else, learning to cut hair, learning how that business runs, where do they buy the stock from, how to run it as a business, how to get your own staff, and there's this list of things that you need to do. So my brother did all of them things before he opened his own barbershop. He even went out doing mobile barbering for a little while, just to build up what he's doing with his business. And now he's got 2 barbershops, he's got staff, and he's a great barber. People keep coming back to his shop time and time again. The men's den on social media, by the way, just a little plug for my brother. But the point is, you need all these skills and you need to learn all these things before you go into opening any business, whether it's a barber shop, whether you become a builder, whatever trade it is that you want to go into. You need to learn things before you do it. You need to learn a blueprint. You need to have a plan. You need to have a definite plan of action. Because without all of those other skills, the odds are you're going to be out of business very soon. As a professional in the music industry, I meet loads of young singers that just want the end result without the journey, without the steps that it takes for a long, sustainable career. They expect the big shows without doing the countless little shows. They'll be going out with their friends at the weekends partying, whilst professional performers are performing for people that are partying. When in reality, they need to eat, sleep, drink and shit their craft to achieve any of the stuff that they want to achieve. There's a great saying that goes like this: you've got to do today that others won't do in order to have tomorrow that others won't have. So you've got to make your daily goals into your weekly goals into your monthly goals, and your monthly goals into your yearly goals, and those yearly goals will become your Sunday goals. Idea number 6, persistence. There's an age-old saying that overnight success can take 15 years. But when people see new success, they think that it's an overnight success. But in reality, these people have been crafting their skills and being persistent with their goals for many, many years. This is why so many singers on these reality TV shows come and go so quickly, because they've never truly crafted their skills, because they're not professionals in a business where you need to be professional. And sadly, they just didn't realise how much work was involved in sustaining a successful career. I hear so many talented musicians telling me how much better they are than people like Ed Sheeran. But when I look at what they do or what they're prepared to do in order to get their music to the world, it's totally dwarfed by the desires, actions and beliefs that somebody like Ed Sheeran did along his journey to get chart success today. So whether they're better or not is irrelevant, because hard work and persistence will always outdo talent alone. Idea number 7, the mastermind. The mastermind is something that I honestly bypassed when I first heard it, but it is a very good part of the book. Napoleon Hill's point here says that you are the average of the top 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you're hanging around with people who are negative, spend too much money, talk badly about other people, eventually you might start finding yourself doing the same. But if you start hanging around with people that are positive, supportive and ambitious and really want to get their goals in life, and don't talk badly about people, actually lift people up or reach down and help people up, then you might start taking on those traits. So the point is, if you want to think and grow rich, you've got to surround yourself with other people that want to think and grow rich. And sometimes I understand this can be hard, because the person that's doubting you or the person that's telling you you can't do things might be your brother, it might be your mum, it might be your dad or your girlfriend or somebody you really care about. But unfortunately, you've got to not give a fuck what they say, and you've got to follow your dream. Because I heard Gary Vee say recently, in 100 years, nobody that you know today will even be here. So why care what they think? It's your life. You get one chance, you've got to live it the way that you want to live it. But I always say this, as long as you do it with honesty, integrity, and don't intentionally bring any upset and harm to anybody else. So the book talks about the mastermind. That's when you get a group of people, whether that's 3, 7, 10, however many that mastermind is, where you sit down and take turns and going over your goals. And those other 10, 7 or 3, however many people, all give advice and feedback on what you should do. So then you're pulling wisdom and knowledge from other like-minded people you surround yourself with. And then however old you are, whether you're 25, 30, 40 or even 50, when you've got more people around you in the room pulling all that wisdom, then all of their years combined is just all that extra knowledge in the room for all to put in the mastermind together. So another one of my examples on this, I've been going to gym and working out for many years, but over the last 10-12 years I have been yo-yo dieting quite a lot. And I met a guy at my gym called JP. Only 3 years ago he was 24 stone. He recently ranked in the natural bodybuilding competition, and when he weighed in for his competition he was half of his original body weight. JP is now my personal trainer. Now I've been training for much longer than JP, but he's bringing something new to the table. He's got new knowledge, he's got passion because he's lost all this weight and he cares about other people. He now wants to reach down and help other people to do what he's done, and the transformations he's getting are incredible. And since I've been working with him, I've personally lost over 2 stone, and I intend to do so much more on this new journey for me in my health and fitness regime for the future. There's also another guy in our gym that gives us all loads of knowledge called Nick. Now Nick's nearly 60 years old, he is in the most incredible shape you've ever seen. He's in better shape than most 20-year-olds and would actually outperform most 20-year-olds. He's like a machine. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Eddie Hall lifting a few guys on a bench press, but Nick was one of those guys on one of Eddie Hall's videos. For anybody that doesn't know Eddie Hall, by the way, he's another person that really set a desire and goal on becoming the world's strongest man, and he's from Stoke-on-Trent, which is just down the road from where I live. But the point is, me combining my knowledge with Nick's knowledge and with JP's knowledge and working together, that works like a mastermind. We've got all this experience coming in to find new things and test new things and discuss it with each other and find the best results. And this is the quickest I've ever lost weight. I've got someone to be accountable to, where I've got to go into the gym and somebody's watching what I'm doing. So now I know that my goals are set, my desire's there, and I'm going to keep losing the weight, I'm going to keep building the muscle, and I want to get myself into the best natural shape that I can be in. Because in a few years I'm going to be 40 years old and I want to be the guy that people go, oh my god, there's a 40-year-old guy that comes to our gym that looks incredible and he's had this journey of yo-yo dieting. I want to be that guy. I want to be a transformation for JP to use on his website. So finding a group of like-minded people is just a great way to do this. And if you can't find people in your area where you can actually sit in a room with them and use that as a mastermind, then you can join an online mastermind like joining a Facebook group or something like that. And in the future, I will be setting up my own Facebook group to get like-minded people in a group together so we can all learn from each other. But something else that it talks about in the book that seems a little bit crazy at first, but it's about an imaginary mastermind group. So imagine the top 5 people that you respect and admire. Imagine sitting in a room with them and having a conversation. How would that conversation go? What advice would them people give you? Because sometimes it's really weird, even though it's in the mind and you can sit back and you can look at things from another person's perspective. It's amazing how you think of things in a different way, and that might only be in the mind, but because you're doing it from that perspective, you're thinking about things on just a deeper level than you normally would. So creating an imaginary mastermind can be very powerful. Remember, this book is called Think and Grow Rich. So if you only take one thing away from this book, remember that this book is based around the power of your thoughts in your mind. So if you would like to be part of my mailing list and be part of future mastermind groups, then let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then like and subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any notifications for future videos. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Marcus. Remember, you create the world you design. Enjoy the journey and reshape your life.